Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on this video tutorial, we're going to turn an inexpensive flat stretch canvas piece into some art that reflects the story from Luke chapter 23 of the thief on the cross. And I'm going to read some verses. It's just really an amazing part of the crucifixion story and of Easter. So anyways, as you were hopping on, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, feel free to sprinkle all that normal jazz. This week I have been showing you a lot of different projects that I have made over the last few years using hot glue and canvases to make crosses. So a few people suggested that I do the 3 crosses. Hey Susie, hey Tana, hey Linda, hey Ruby. And I said, yeah, let's definitely do that. And before I jump into these 2 things right here are something I am still working a little bit on, and I will do a separate video. But this is a wood round, an inexpensive wood round that I decoupaged with little pieces from an old dictionary. Same here. This is just a stretch canvas from Dollar Tree. I did the edges with hot glue. I'm going to do something interesting on this one, but I haven't gotten that far yet. I always have at least 10 projects going at any one time. But so we're going to take something like this, and I'm going to jump forward a few steps, so I'll tell you what I did. I took, off camera, a bunch of little pieces from 3 or 4 dictionary pages that I found at Goodwill several years ago. Where did that go? And I used some Mod Podge, and I completely decoupaged the front of one of these. And then I cut the edges off, and it basically ended up, don't look at the glue yet, ended up looking like this. Okay, so this could be framed if you wanted, or it could be something that you would set like in one of these Dollar Tree easels, set up in, you know, your kitchen, family room, dining room, entryway, a bedroom. You could do a lot of different things with it. This is what I probably will end up doing, is using one of these, and I'll probably paint it, okay? So before I came live, I have been working with hot glue to start the scene, which we'll finish. The scene is the hill with the 3 crosses, Jesus in the center, and the 2 thieves on either side. But this will just be the crosses, and you're probably very familiar with the whole scene of 3 crosses. So this is the start. I just did, and I did as jaggedy as I could make it be with my glue, and I'll show you how to do that. So in the center, I did Jesus's cross, and then these are going to be shorter and maybe just a little bit thinner. These are going to be the 2 thieves, and then this right here is sort of the hill. Okay, so I just used hot glue, and we'll continue on with this. And then this is craft paint from Walmart. It's Full Cart brand. We're going to do the cross in the center in gold and the other 2 crosses in silver. And then I'm still not sure what to do the jaggedy hill. So if you have ideas, please put them in the comments. I would love to see what you think. Otherwise, I'll probably do black with little hints of gold and silver on it. I'm just not sure. But before we jump into this, I want to read you the verses that are inspiring this craft project. So I am going into my Bible, which is a life application study Bible. It's many years old. I have lived my life in this Bible. Well, my adult life anyways. And I've written all over it. My life is in here. I mean, I have stuff from Easter 2020. I have stuff from all different points in time recorded in my Bible. But so we're in Luke chapter 23, and I'm going to read from 39 to 43. No, from 32 to 43. And this is titled, Jesus is Placed on the Cross. 2 other men, both criminals, were also led out with him, Jesus, to be executed. When they came to the place called the Skull, there they crucified him along with the criminals, one on his right, the other on his left. Jesus said, oh gosh, this just makes me want to weep. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. And they divided up his clothes by casting lots. The people stood watching, and the rulers even sneered at him. They said, he saved others, let him save himself, if he is the Christ of God, the chosen one. The soldiers also came up and mocked him. They offered him wine vinegar and said, if you are the king of the Jews, save yourself. There was written a notice above him which read, this is the king of the Jews. One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him. Aren't you the Christ? Save yourself and us. But the other criminal on the other side rebuked him. Don't you fear God, he said, since you are under the same sentence? We are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve. But this man here has done nothing wrong. He was referring to Jesus. Then Jesus said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus answered, I tell you the truth, today you will be with me in paradise. So I encourage you to read this. The 2 themes had vastly different attitudes. One didn't recognize who Jesus was, and the other obviously did to some degree because he believed. And Jesus told him, he believed in a split second before he died, or a few minutes before he died. He didn't live a long life of doing good deeds, but he believed. And Jesus said, I tell you the truth, today you will be with me in paradise. So what this whole scene just reminds me is that it's not about what we do, it's about what we believe. It's not about our good deeds, it's about what Jesus did for us. So that is the whole scene of what I am making here. So as you can see on my little board, hopefully, sort of, I have already done Jesus's cross, and I have started one of the crosses on the side, and I've done the little hill, the place called the Skull. And I am using my low temperature hot gluing device, and I'll show you, just kind of watch, I'll show you how I am going over each area multiple times and kind of jiggling it around, which is good for me because I have a shaky hand anyways. And that is creating the look that I want. I also want to point out that this is 12 inches wide. So I put my center cross at 6 inches, and then I just scooted out, I think it was 3 inches. Yeah, 3 inches from my center cross for each of the other 2 crosses. And I marked it. Can you see that sort of bluish turquoise pin? I marked where those were. That will be all covered up. So you can do that, and it won't be visible. Yeah, it's all about the cross. It's about Jesus. It's about what he did, not what we do. Okay, so I need to start on this cross. We'll do it pretty quickly. We'll finish this one up and we'll start painting, and then I will do the rest of it off camera. Okay, so I'm going to start at where I have the top, And I'm using my Sure Bonder, but you can use whatever kind of hot gluing device you have. And you're going to be using a lot of glue, so if you want to use Dollar Tree glue, I think that would work just fine. You don't have to use, you know, any particular brand of the actual hot glue sticks. Just be careful, because hot glue burns hurt. And I am just putting this first row on thick. Okay, and I went all the way down to where I have my hill. Okay, now I'm going to come back to one side, and I'm just kind of going to make it bumpy. Okay, I need another one. This is a pretty glue intensive kind of a craft. I may not need to add a ton of glue to the other side because it's already pretty thick. So I'm just squeezing just a little bit out and sort of dragging my still hot glue around a little bit to get a jaggedy look. This whole project is so super affordable. The canvas, you can get these thin canvases everywhere. I think I bought a package of 5 for $6 or something. I don't even know where I got them. And then you can use any kind of book pages that you want. I had the book already. And then you can use Dollar Tree hot glue if you would like. And then you're going to use a teeny weeny little bit of paint. Okay, I need to figure out the crossbar on the other side, and it's going to be smaller and lower. And I think I'm going to do it about 2 inches long in total. I can always go out a little bit further if I need to. I cannot see that. Come on here with my pen. I have found that it just helps to have a line to know where you're going. And I'm not going to make the crosses on either side exactly match. If I had been more careful, and I might be able to come back and lengthen this one, I would make one just slightly longer. And I know that the story of Easter, which is coming up here, not too long from now, if you're watching this live, is really about his resurrection, but this is part of that, the crucifixion. So let's add just a little bit more and make it jaggedy. And then I think we'll move on and start painting, and I'll finish the other cross off camera. I also wanted to show you what I did to resolve all the glue strings that you're going to have everywhere. and you really are going to have them everywhere. Let's see, I did the very same technique of pretty thick for just this random hill that I just randomly drew and then put the glue on top of it. So there's no pattern or anything like that. You can Google the Thief on the Cross image and you'll see lots of things, or go to Pinterest. Okay, so this is my Magnolia Design Company heating device, heating device. It's like a dryer, and it will essentially melt It is basically melting the glue strings, which I want to wait just a second to do this third cross because I want it to dry a little bit. When the glue dries, it becomes a little more, it's not as clear. So what do you guys think so far? Do you like this idea? Susie, you were one of the people who suggested that I do this. So thank you. And then there were a few other people that said, why don't you do 3 crosses? And I was like, yeah. Okay, that's the majority of the glue strings. And just gonna bring my paper plate over here. I'm using these 2 kinds of paint, Folk Art Treasure Gold and Folk Art Treasure Gold, but it's silver. This is called Platinum. Okay, let's do the, let's see, is this dry? Let's do this one first, the silver one on the side, so that I don't forget. I just stirred up my paint and I dried off my paintbrush. I have a kind of stiff, small paintbrush, and I'm just gonna work out of the cap. And this does, I have found in doing these projects, it usually does take several coats to get everything covered. I'll hold it up in just a second. I think this would be a great project to do with a couple of friends, but each person will have to have their own hot gluing device so that they can do their crosses. And you could paint your canvas, you can decoupage it, you could do all kinds of different things. You could even do a black canvas, a black stretch canvas. That would be pretty. As I am painting, I am going down the side of each piece, and I'm getting glue in all the little crevices and everything. And when I hold this up, you'll see what I mean by jaggedy. These are not smooth crosses. Which, if you like that style better, you could certainly do that. Now you can see what I'm talking about when I say jaggedy. Okay, let's do this other side. If you don't melt your glue strings before you get started, like I still see some, you can always melt them after, but it's going to look nicer if you do that beforehand. Okay, this will be a lot more solid looking. I will let this fully dry, and then I will come back. So now I'm really stumped about what color I should do the hill. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. I could do black paint. I could do brown paint. I could do dark gray paint. Tell me what you guys think. Okay, let me wash off my brush because it's my favorite one. I want to use it for the gold also. These little things of glue were $2 or $3 and they seem to last forever. So this seriously is not an expensive project at all. And maybe you already have everything you need for the project at hand. Okay. I did this center cross a little bit thicker and heavier. And if I decide it's not heavy enough, even after I've painted it, I can come back and add more glue and then just paint that. What that is looking like so far. I think this would be really pretty framed as well. Oops. So if I wasn't live, I might let each cross dry separately so that I don't lay my hand in it. Or just be careful. As far as this project goes, you really could use any gold or silver paint that you want. It doesn't have to be this brand. And you don't have to have the same kind of a hot gluing device either. That's just what I have, so that is what I am using. They look kind of like they're just floating because I haven't figured out the hills yet. Let me see if anyone answered. How about a combination of brown paint with sand on the top sprinkled? That's a good idea, Susie. I will experiment with some ideas off camera and then maybe come back. Probably tomorrow. So right now I'm really wishing that one of my gifts that God would have given me is singing, but it isn't. But anyways, I have this song in my head that I've been kind of humming to myself all day long, and it's that song that says, "On Christ the solid rock we stand, all other ground is sinking sand, all other ground is sinking sand." Do you guys have that happen? Get a song in your head that you are just kind of singing or humming to yourself all day long? Or is that just me? Okay, so you can see, I'll come back and do both of them with the second coat, and I'll go slower and get all the way down the sides of the cross. So you don't have to decoupage with little pieces of dictionary pages or book pages. You could paint your canvas, you could leave it plain. There's a lot of different things that you could do. Let's see, does anyone else have a suggestion for the bottom? I see lots of people on, but only Susie gave me this suggestion. I might do black or brown or gray or a combination of those colors. And after I do it, yeah, it is a good song to be singing in your head, because I'm reminding myself all day that he is the only solid rock in this world. Patty says it looks nice. Let's try just a little. Let me see if I can find some black paint. If I can open it, that's the bigger question. Ooh. Okay, this is called ink color, which might be a little bit bluish. Let's just do a little dab in black. I can always paint over it and see what we think. And I can also come back and add some other colors over it too. Don't look at my messy paint drawer. Who's going to do this project? Raise your hand or give me some of these. That's a heart. Or these. And let me know if you're going to try this project. You could try it also on something like one of these large wood rounds. Or just a smaller canvas. It doesn't have to be something big. Well, I'm not hating this, but I think I would definitely come back with some brown or something, because it seems very harsh. What do you guys think? Let's see, do I have a brown that's handy that I can open? No, that's Merlot. Well, I'll have to dig. I have several drawers of paint, and most of them are glued shut because I never remember to clean off the top part before I put my lids back on. Anyways, I hope you liked this project and that I inspired you to do something like this. If you did this project with the little people in your lives, be sure to use a low temperature hot gluing device, and maybe you do the simple crosses on a canvas or even a piece of watercolor paper, and then you let the little person paint, and then you can talk about the thief, well, the two thieves, the two criminals on the cross on either side of Jesus, and what it takes to get into heaven, or paradise as Jesus calls it, is just belief. And so the thief, I don't know which side he was on, that said that he believed that Jesus told him, I tell you the truth, today you'll be in paradise with me. He just believed at the last minute. Of course, it's much better to believe and then to go through your life with that solid rock of Jesus Christ to hang on to. But late is better than never, right? So, and this is just a great illustration that it's not about what this guy did here. It's about what this guy did here and who he is. So anyways, the Bible verses that I was looking at are Luke chapter 23, and it was verses, let's see, where did I start? Oh, and there's a great note here that I do want to read to you before I hop off. Verse 32 to 43. Okay, this is one of the notes. as this man was about to die, he turned to Christ for forgiveness, and Christ accepted him. This shows that our deeds don't save us. Our faith in Christ does. It is never too late to turn to God. Even in his misery, Jesus had mercy on this criminal who decided to believe in him. Our lives will be much more useful and fulfilling if we turn. This is almost exactly what I just said. If we turn to God early, but even those who repent at the very last moment will be with God in paradise. So I hope that was encouraging to you, and just a good little reminder that this is part of the Easter story. And hope that you have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day.